Hello and welcome to the very first episode of The Comfort Zone. My name is April, and this is meant to be a podcast or a space where we can talk about things that make us comfortable, uncomfortable, in a very comfortable environment. So, why did I decide to make this podcast? Honestly, it's 2024. My New Year's resolution was to actually make my own podcast. I have made podcasts in the past professionally, but I've never made one for me. So I guess this is step one of going out of my comfort zone this year. And I really wanted it to feel kind of like a little chit chat, a little girls' night. We're sitting here, we're gonna do some face masks, we're gonna talk about life, we're talking about moments, experiences, memories where we went out of our comfort zone, or even when we stayed in our comfort zone and it made those boundaries, because that's also equally important. Saying no. That is something actually that I should do more in 2024 is say no. But to be fair, I think I have been getting better at it. So this first episode is going to be just a little bit of an introduction to the concept, to the vibe, to me, because I have had a TikTok account for 4 years now, and I've never really sat down and told people about me. I've kind of sprinkled things here and there. They know that I'm Canadian. They know that I'm Filipino. They know that I live in Spain. They know that I have a boyfriend that I've done but I had that show. But no one really, I feel like nobody really knows what's my middle name? When is my birthday? Things like that. And I really wanted to make this podcast in kind of like a video and audio format, where in the video format, you'll see me in comfy clothes with a nice little heated blanket, no makeup, which is also very out of my comfort zone. I'm so not used to not wearing makeup on camera. And I think that's one of the foundations of this. I wanted to make a space where I feel confident without makeup, because I think for the longest time, ever since I was in high school, there would be times I wouldn't go out of my house without makeup. So we're chit chatting. This is a girls' night. And what do you do when you have a sleepover? We put on a face mask. So I would like to start every episode of The Comfort Zone with a little bit of skincare. And I'm going to put this Shea Butter Nourishing Mask, which is from the Face Shop. I think it's a Korean brand. I bought it in the Philippines, but it's a sheet mask. So I'm going to look a little crazy, but definitely 2024 is the year of glass skin. I want to really make my skin better, because as I mentioned, ever since I was a teenager, I just felt more comfortable wearing makeup. And there would be so many times where I wouldn't leave my house unless I had makeup. Definitely at school, I wouldn't go to school without makeup. Never, ever, ever. But now that I'm getting older, I really want to be more at peace with not wearing makeup. And I guess step one, look at me. I'm literally on the internet, no makeup, with a face mask, looking crazy. But you know what? Let's do it together. So, as I mentioned, I've never really talked about me, myself, or really did a full deep dive on, I guess what? My past, my traumas, where I've lived. But my name is April Rose Jereza. My birthday is April 14, 1994, which I think 4 is my number, 4th month, 14th day, 1994. I am an Aries, so all of my Aries sisters, y'all already know, a little bit aggressive, a little hot-headed, um, but I think Aries just want to love and be loved, and if they do love, they love fiercely. What else about me? I was born in the Philippines, in Cebu City, Philippines. I moved to Canada when I was 3 years old. I moved back to the Philippines when I was around 9 or 10 years old. And I lived in the Philippines from the ages of 9 or 10 to 15. When I came back to Canada for grade 10 of high school, I finished high school in Canada, finished university in Canada. I studied, I got a Bachelor of Commerce with a major in finance. Realized I did not like that. And I literally Googled how to work and travel, and the first thing on Google that came up was teach English in Spain. And that's where my journey here in Spain started. So, for those of you who don't know me, I live in Madrid, Spain, currently, right now, in this moment, in this apartment. I would say I speak pretty fluently English and Spanish. Do I make mistakes in Spanish? Yes. But I would like to make this podcast primarily in English. And we might have a couple Spanglish episodes if I invite some of my Spanish friends or my boyfriend to speak. A little bit about myself. My favorite color when I was younger was purple. And I think now that I'm older, my favorite color is green. I love like an emerald green and a sage green. Love a sage green. Um, as I mentioned, the purpose of this podcast is to talk about memories, moments, stories of when we've gone out of our comfort zone. And I think ever since I was born, my family and circumstances have pushed me out of my comfort zone to the point where I think almost being out of my comfort zone is in part a comfort part of my comfort zone. So, what a lot of people don't know about me is that until high school, I went to 8 schools in my life. I could list them off like St. Gabriel, Bishop Scalabrini, St. Ursula, St. Angela Merici, Maria Montessori, USP, Southcrest, and Bishop Reading. 8 schools from kindergarten all the way to high school. And if you've moved around a lot and gone to many different schools, I think you could relate that it sucks and it's tough. And I really there was definitely moments where I just want to be like, I just like couldn't be bothered. Like, I hated it. And I think one of my my most difficult move was moving back from the Philippines to Canada. So I was 15. I had my friends, I had my life. I had like I was like in that age, I'm 15. I'm in the Philippines with all of my friends. And then my parents are like, we're moving back to Canada. It's grade 10. It's not even grade 9. So, like in Canada, high school starts like grade 9, 10, 11. So I came in grade 10, not even grade 9. So, like a lot of people in grade 9, you come from different schools and then you can make friends. No, I came in grade 10 when all of the grade 9s had already made their friends and they already have their cliques and they already have their friend groups. So I'm like, great, cool, fun, hate my life. And that was really hard. I think that year was truly like, ugh, I felt like I didn't even want to make friends in Canada because I felt some way like I was betraying my friends in the Philippines. Like, no, my friends in the Philippines, you are my ride or die. I'll never be happy without you. Eventually, I got over it, but it was a struggle. And my parents will tell you, ever since I was a kid, I was that kid in the playground. I'll just go up to you and I'll be like, "Hi, my name is April. Do you want to be my friend?" I didn't really have trouble making friends, but I remember that year, it was just like, oh, it was a nightmare. I generally don't feel like I felt good in high school until my last year in high school. And then, like, high school's freaking over. And then I had to go to university and start all over again and be funny and be sociable and make people like me in university. Ugh, sometimes it is exhausting. And I don't know if other people can relate, but I find that living here in Spain as well, making friends really pushes me out of my comfort zone. And I specifically remember my first year here in Madrid, the friends that I had made, they were all traveling. Nobody was here. It was a Friday night. I had no plans. I had no one to hang out with. I didn't know what to do. And I found a language exchange at a bar here in the center of the city. And I forced, as much as I didn't want to go, I forced myself to go. I went alone to this freaking language exchange, and it truly changed my life. I met a girl there and we became friends for the rest of the year. But I think that's a great example of like how pushing yourself for a moment out of your comfort zone can really change your experience. In terms of friends, bruh, if you are if you are a foreigner living in Spain or living in a different country, I wonder if you can relate. But for example, here in Madrid, I came here as a language assistant. There's a ton of English speaking language assistants here in Madrid. And obviously you have a community, everybody becomes friends, but like these friends I find are majority transitory. They're here for 1 2 years, then they leave. And like me as a person, I'm a very loyal, loving friend, girlfriend, partner, whatever. I It hurts. Like I spent all this time investing in a friendship with a person and then they leave. Of course our friendship doesn't have to end, but it sucks that like I genuinely feel like up until recently, all of my best friends never live in the same city as me. One of my best friends is in the Philippines, another one's in Croatia, another one's in Canada, like another one is in London. So like, God, it's just emotionally exhausting. And I think that genuinely during the pandemic, my friends pre-pandemic and post-pandemic are completely different. I feel like I feel like after the pandemic, I kind of, because all of my friends pre-pandemic literally left the country and I'm like, great, I'm here. I have no friends. The friends that I made post-pandemic, I kind of was a bit more picky. I wanted to only really be friends with people who I thought were had the intention of staying in Spain long term, because I it is exhausting. It is exhausting trying to make people like you and trying to make people your friend. And sometimes you click, sometimes you don't. It's just, I think like now in my life, girl, I'm old. I'm getting old. I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time for these. I have three really good friends and that's it basically. Um, but yeah, I think one of the biggest life-changing moments where I pushed myself out of my comfort zone that changed my life, was pushing myself to move to Spain, because I I don't know. I remember specifically, backstory. I went on holiday here. I went backpacking with my best friend for 5 6 weeks in Europe. We started in London, we went to Amsterdam, Spain, Italy, Croatia, and we went backpacking. And one of our stops was Madrid. I heard about this program, I had applied to it, I didn't hear anything back. And literally, after I took a flight from Madrid to Rome, turned my phone on in Rome, I got an email saying that I was accepted to the language assistance program in Madrid, and I thought it was a sign. And then literally, I went backpacking for 5 weeks, got back home. My parents were like, "Oh my God, you've been gone so long. How are you?" Nah, nah, nah. And I'm like, "Hi, bye. I'm going back to Europe and I'm going to move to Spain. I'm going to live in Madrid." Yeah, because I'm crazy. Anyway, so I did it. I think this was around June. I worked as a waitress from June, July, August, September, saved up a shit ton of money to get my ass to Spain. And I remember, this is honestly crazy. I do genuinely think that, like, the part in my brain where fear develops has been underdeveloped for a very long time, because I just don't think. I remember I told my parents that I was staying with a mutual friend in Madrid while I would look for an apartment. Lies, full lie. I don't know what came over me, but to save money, I was like, I'm going to try couch surfing. For those of you who don't know, couch surfing is a website that connects travelers with travelers, and you can like sleep on someone's couch or spare room in exchange for like a cultural exchange. You can like speak English, share the language, maybe share a dish from your country, things like that. So I downloaded the app Couchsurfing. I messaged like the first person that I saw matched, and they messaged me back, which also I heard from my friends is not common on Couchsurfing. Like normally you have to like message a shit ton of people and maybe one person replied. But no, I messaged one person, one girl. She replied to me immediately, and I think I said something like, "Hi, I'm moving to Madrid. I'm going to be a language assistant, and I'm looking for a host or hosts who would be able to help me, like, with a place to stay while I look for my own apartment." And then this girl, Noe, she was part of a couple, Juan and Noe. She messaged me back and she said, "We would love to host you until you can find a month. They know how hard it is to find apartments in Madrid." They're like, "Yeah, you can stay for like a month." And I didn't sleep on a couch, guys. I had a room. It was an interior room, it was a tiny room, but I had a bedroom, which is crazy to me. The how lucky I was. So yeah, my parents literally thought I was staying with a mutual friend. No, they were literally two strangers off the internet, but I could have not been any luckier because when I got there, first of all, I didn't really know the neighborhoods in Madrid, but I was in their apartment was in Plaza Lavapiés, like smack center, lot of life in the streets, a lot of people everywhere, super multicultural, great location. So I really lucked out on couch surfing. So I went. I remember specifically, I think the weekend that I went was Tapapiés, which is a festival in this neighborhood of Madrid, Lavapiés, where they restaurants give you a tapa and a drink, and they kind of have like a competition which restaurant made the best tapa. Anyways, so I spent 2 weeks looking for apartments, going to a bunch of places, and I genuinely think like I thought my Spanish was good before I came to Madrid. Boy, was I wrong. My Spanish was not that good. And I think the reason that my Spanish was not good was the reason that I was really finding it difficult to find a room in like a shared flat with Spanish people. After 2 weeks, Juan and Noe sat me down. They're like, "April, we really like you, and we were wondering if you would just like to stay with us and rent one of the rooms." I was like, "Huh? How lucky am I?" And because they lived in Plaza Lavapiés, that had 3 bedroom, 2 bath apartment. The bedroom I stayed in was a small interior room, and they had two other bedrooms. One that they used as a studio, and one that was their room. They gave me their bedroom, and they moved into the studio. Their bedroom had a balcony. I had my own bathroom. It was absolutely stunning. It was the most amazing first year in Spain. And this is genuinely one of the moments that I think back like, I really pushed myself out of my comfort zone. Was I scared? Absolutely. But sometimes, like when you're standing at the edge of a cliff, you just got to jump, like and see what happens. I was actually talking to my therapist about that this week that like when I was younger, I like jump off. Literally, I love jumping off a rock. Love the beach. I'll find a rock, I'll jump off, dive into the ocean. So I was telling her when I was younger and I was cliff jumping or doing crazy things. So when I was younger, I would literally never hesitate to jump off a cliff. I would stand at the edge and I just phew, jump. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I'll still jump, guys. I'll still jump. I'll still do it. But as I've gotten older, the time that I spend on that cliff looking down gets a little bit longer. And I think just I finally learned how to have a little bit of fear. So now, instead of constantly going out of my comfort zone, I've kind of learned to like stay in my comfort zone. Um and that it's okay to put boundaries, it's okay to say no. And actually in 2024, that's what we're going to try to do, guys. We're going to try to learn how to say no. So that's a little bit about myself. I've moved around a lot as a kid. I don't find it hard to make friends, but recently I've been a bit more picky because I want friends that I can actually hang out with and it won't leave me. Funny story. Well, not funny. My bed right now is full of pillows. I have 10 pillows on my bed. And the reason I have so many pillows is because every year that a friend has left and they're like getting rid of some of the stuff, some of their clothes, some of their house stuff, they give me pillows. I literally have 10 pillows because all of the friends that I've made here in Spain have left and given me their pillows. And actually I read online once that um they say that the more pillows you have on the bed, the lonelier you are. So Yeah, fuck. Everybody, all of my friends left me. I'm gonna remove this face mask. It's been sitting on. Ooh, feels great. Um, anyways, so that's basically what I kind of want to center this podcast around. Situations where you've done something crazy and it turned out for the best. And honestly, moving to Spain has changed my life. I've been here for 6 years. I met the love of my life. My partner, my boyfriend, we are pareja de hecho. For those of you who don't know anything about Spain or speak Spanish, pareja de hecho in Spain is like a civil union, common law. It's like a legal partnership. Hopefully, we're gonna get married soon. Oh. But yeah, I think that's just a little bit about me. Of course, if you have any questions and want to know a little bit more about me, leave them in the comments. Um, like I've mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, I wanted to start every podcast with a little bit of skincare, maybe a little face mask. We've done the face mask. I feel much better. My skin exploded 2 months ago. I'm not even kidding. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. So literally being on camera right now, no makeup, showing you my skin, showing you my acne scars is a big fucking deal. Um but sometimes we have to push ourselves, but sometimes we also can just like chill. But sometimes we have to push ourselves. Now I'm a little bit older. I'm turning 30 this year. And I've literally felt it. I've turned into a grandma. I love staying at home. I love my heated blanket. I love watching TV shows. So for this pod, we start with some skincare. We start with a sheet mask, and we're going to end talking about a TV show or a movie that we have been watching recently. So recently, and by recently, I mean like literally an hour before I filmed and recorded this, I finished the 2 seasons of The Summer I Turned Pretty. And you know that you're getting older because I do not relate to the teenagers in this show. I'm here crying about the beautiful mother friendship between Laurel and Susanna, who are the two moms in the show. I'm like, this is absolutely beautiful. So this girl Belly in the TV show The Summer I Turned Pretty, she's like the protagonist, she's the main character. She's so dumb. She's like flip-flopping between these two brothers and like just she messy, messy, messy. They're so nice to her. They're so forgiving to her. I would have been like, the fuck, girl, like, get yourself together. Anyways, I'm team Jeremiah through and through. I'm sorry. I know like some girls like the dark, brooding, like complicated guy. No, give me the golden retriever. That dark, brooding guy can like figure his shit out on his own. Don't drag me into this. Anyways, uh um I've been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty and I realized I'm fucking old, guys. I literally bawled my eyes out whenever I see like um Susanna and Laurel together, which is the moms. Their friendship is so beautiful. And like there's some teenage bullshit like with Belly and her love triangles, squares, whatever. But I'm here. The real love, the true love in that show is the friendship between the moms. Literally, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Literally, goals. You're lucky to have a friendship like that in your life. Whew, and I think about that all the time. I feel like I didn't mean to, but this episode or the first episode of this pod is really about friendship, making friends, how hard it is to make friends when you have a great friendship, like in The Summer I Turned Pretty with Susanna and Laurel. Hold on to it because, whew, life's lonely, guys. Life is lonely. Anyways, so that's the TV show that I've been recently watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that I'm able to continue to make podcast episodes like this. I hope you enjoyed. Comment below some moments where you have gone out of your comfort zone and it paid off. Also, comment if you have any questions about me and want to know a little bit about me and my background, because I can address a few things in the coming episodes. Again, I completely appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you watching. See you in the next episode. Stay comfy.